look up at the ceiling of, like, any corporate boardroom or high-end sports bar, you'd probably assume those flat white squares are just standard grills or drywall, right?
Yeah, most people do.
But behind some of them sits this miniature, self-contained acoustic powerhouse that costs over $700 a pop.
It's pretty wild.
Right. So today we are doing a deep dive into a product spec sheet from HDTV Supply for the Kramer Tavor AT ceiling tile speaker. We're skipping the basic AV talk to figure out exactly what kind of engineering allows high-end commercial audio to hide in plain sight, and why it actually matters to you.
It's a brilliant case study, really, because when you dig into these specs, you realize the primary challenge in commercial AV design isn't just pushing sound anymore.
Right.
It's managing heat and efficiency. And that completely changes how these systems are built from the ground up.
Yeah, because this isn't a passive speaker you just wire back to a massive equipment rack somewhere. The specs emphasize that this is an active system.
Exactly, an active system.
Yeah, featuring a 40-watt or 110-watt continuous Class D power amplifier built directly into the unit. I mean, it's like buying a car where the engine is built straight into the wheels.
That is a perfect analogy, but the crucial detail there is, well, it's the Class D rating.
Okay, why is that so important?
Because if you tried putting a traditional Class A or AB amplifier inside a tiny enclosed drop ceiling box, it would generate so much heat.
Oh, it would be an absolute fire hazard.
Literally a fire hazard, yeah. Class D amplifiers are highly efficient, so they run exceptionally cool while still delivering massive power. That thermal efficiency is the precise mechanism that allows this localized amplification to safely exist up there.
That makes perfect sense. The efficiency basically unlocks the whole form factor.
Exactly.
But then I see they paired that Class D amp with an 8-inch Kevlar woofer and 4 pivoting 1-inch titanium tweeters.
Right, the materials.
Yeah, and I understand commercial spaces need hardware that lasts, but using bulletproof vest material and aerospace metal for a ceiling tile, is that an actual acoustic necessity, or is it just, spec sheet flex to justify a $700 price tag?
Well, it sounds like pure marketing overkill, I grant you that, but it's actually governed by physics.
Wait, really?
Yeah, because in an active system pushing that much localized power, your biggest enemy is physical distortion. Kevlar is incredibly light, but rigidly strong.
Oh, so the 8-inch woofer can push a massive volume of air to create deep bass without the cone bending under the pressure.
You nailed it. And meanwhile, the titanium allows those 4 tweeters to vibrate at extreme high frequencies with pinpoint precision. They aren't using these materials to stop bullets, right? They're using them to stop distortion at high volumes.
Okay, so you have this high-efficiency, distortion-free engine sitting right above your head. But how does that translate to the actual room dynamics? Because evenly filling a complex room like a wide conference table isn't exactly easy.
No, it's not. And that is where Kramer's K-overage ESD comes into play. That stands for equal sound dispersion.
Gotcha.
By pivoting those titanium tweeters, they achieve nearly 180 degrees of sound dispersion from a single tile.
Wow, almost 180 degrees from one unit.
Yeah, but just as interesting is the physical integration. The unit features 3 independent inputs, and each has their own volume trimmers.
So they've essentially moved the entire mixing console into the ceiling.
Basically, yes. And to access it, installers just pop off a magnet-held grill secured by 2 quick screws. It's designed to save time.
Moving the mixing console into the ceiling actually explains something that really stood out to me in the source material.
Oh, what was that?
Amidst all these hyper-technical specs, there was a glaringly human customer review praising a support rep named Rachel.
Oh, right, for catching the configuration mistake.
Exactly. And I think it highlights a massive shift in the industry. Because systems like the Tavor AT handle their own mixing and amplification, the real challenge for installers isn't running massive spools of copper wire anymore.
Right, it's system configuration.
Yeah.
That is a very sharp insight. The hardware has become so self-reliant that the technical bottleneck has just moved up to the network and integration layer.
Makes total sense.
Yeah, if you misconfigure those independent inputs or order the wrong interface for your specific setup, all the Kevlar and titanium in the world won't save you. Expert human support is what bridges the gap between raw hardware capability and a functioning room.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener?
Yeah.
Well, the next time you walk into a venue and hear perfectly crisp, room-filling audio, take a second to look up.
Yeah, you aren't just listening to a basic speaker cone tied to a closet down the hall.
Not at all. You are likely sitting underneath a highly efficient, Kevlar-lined, self-amplified piece of engineering hiding right there in plain sight.
And you know, if active powered speakers like the Tavor 8T continue to handle their own amplification and mixing right at the point of delivery, it raises a really fascinating question.
What's that?
How long will it be until the traditional massive AV equipment rack completely disappears from commercial building design?